Hello, everyone, and welcome to my podcast. My name is Lynette. Today, we're going to talk about passive aggressive, or better known as the silent treatment. You know, in life, there's all kinds of abuse. There's physical, emotional, verbal, and somebody who gives you the silent treatment gives you almost the same pain that you would get from physical abuse, but you feel it on the inside. And in fact, if you were to tell that person that they're abusive, they probably would deny it or not even know what you're talking about. I believe that abuse in general is something that is inherited, that it's a generational thing that's passed down, but it's time to break it. I know in my own experience, I had never been given the silent treatment. I didn't even know what it was until I moved in with some people and I was in my 20s and it was time for me to move out. I got a different situation going on. Well, one of the people in that house didn't want me to move out. So that person gave me the silent treatment. And I remember the feeling. I got in my car and I thought, this doesn't feel right. It hurt in a different way. And I was driving away and I turned around and went back and confronted that person because the way they were treating me. And that was the first time I had experienced the silent treatment, better known as passive aggressive behavior. In case anybody's vague on passive aggressive behavior, it's silently punishing someone. It's a way of getting them to do or not do what you want them to. It's a way to punish you without making it obvious to others. But if you live with someone with passive aggressive behavior, or if you're in a relationship of some sort with someone with passive aggressive behavior, your emotions would be on a constant roller coaster. In an earlier episode, we discussed not depending on anyone to make you happy. Well, in this case, keep in mind that nobody can decide your happiness, and don't give them the power to do that. It's almost like when you see a human being giving a tantrum. The silent treatment is similar to a tantrum, and they're trying to get their way. If you ignore them, pretty soon they're putting on a show for themselves, and they'll just give up. So don't buy into it. Don't waste those moments of your life. Because when somebody that you care about, that you love, is treating you in that way, it really does affect you emotionally. Sure, they may come out the winner and they may feel like they've really achieved something, but why would you want to put that kind of pain and hurt on someone that you supposedly love or care about, or is your family member? For me, in my opinion, passive aggressive behavior, and it goes without saying that physical abusive behavior is unacceptable, but passive aggressive behavior is also unacceptable. For me, it would be a deal breaker. I don't think I would get into a long-term serious relationship that had that kind of behavior. You know, in life, it's interesting how we all want to be treated a certain way. We all want to be treated good. We all want to be cared about. We all want to be loved. But yet, somebody who you supposedly love, or even somebody who's a stranger, we don't give to them what we want others to give to us. And actually, I think this holiday season is a perfect time to really think about giving what you want. And I'm not talking about material things, I'm talking about emotional things. Giving what you want and then I believe you will get it back. It's certainly an exercise worth checking out or trying or experimenting with, because in general, I think being kind and being good to people is what we want to do, but we feel like we have to put up these fronts, these facades, so nobody can hurt us. But I think the best way to break down a wall is to give what we all internally need and want. And I think they will give it back to you. With all of this being said, it brings me back to a very important aspect of a relationship, and that is communication. So if communication is one of the most healthy things in a relationship, then the silent treatment would be the opposite of that. When you open yourself up to absolute communication, you may not want to hear how others observe you or what they have to say about you or what you did that made them mad. But at least you can look at things from their point of view. And it's not to say that anybody's right or wrong. It's just the way we have perceived things. You know, this election that happened in the U.S. recently really taught me a lot. It's interesting how we all saw and heard the same things, but there was almost a 50-50 split on how we observed it and what some of us thought was good and others thought was bad, or vice versa. So it was very interesting to see how the human mind works. And when somebody perceives something a certain way, there is nothing you can really do to change that. But getting back to the silent treatment, passive-aggressive behavior, I don't think that's something that you would want done to you. And so if you want your relationship to thrive, to be more solid, I can't imagine that the silent treatment is beneficial for anybody. In fact, as I said for myself, it would be a deal breaker. And if it was passed down to you, if your parents did it to you, if it's something that you observed over a lifetime, then it's time to break that. Because I know in life, our families, our relationships, friends, lovers, whatever, we want them to thrive. And by giving someone the silent treatment would do just the opposite. And it is abusive. And I don't think any of us want to look at ourselves as being abusive human beings. And the fact is, passive-aggressive behavior is, in fact, abuse. It is emotional abuse. Again, an example of lack of communication. I had somebody working for me for approximately 18 years because I needed help with things. And they text me after 18 years. I got a text and it says, I have to quit. My back hurts or something like that. And I thought, wow, after 18 years, I get a text message. And I was hurt because, well, for one, that it came in the form of a text, but also that there wasn't more of an explanation. So a couple of years have gone by, and I recently reached out to this person because I needed some temporary help. And they told me that it was something that I had said. Now, I really didn't even give a second thought to what I had said to this person or how they may have taken it. If this person had just communicated with me and she had told me that I hurt her feelings or whatever, I would have retracted it or maybe explained my point of view, or maybe I was just having a bad day. Human beings do have bad days and we can't take everything so serious. But instead, we lost a 18-year relationship. And it's interesting how you can be good to someone for 18 years plus, and you say one thing wrong, and suddenly that relationship is down the tubes. Now, in general, I believe, or I personally care more about my relationships. I will at least make an attempt to communicate if possible, try to work it out. Some things you just can't make better. Some things they're going to the wayside and there's nothing you can do about it. For the most part, if you try your best, and by giving them the silent treatment and hoping they figure out what's bothering you, is not trying your best. So again, as we approach this holiday season, it would be nice if we all gave the very thing that we want. That's compassion, understanding, love, respect, not material things, not things with a bow and wrapping paper, but if we give what comes free to us, then I believe it will be given to us. And what a wonderful holiday season that would be. With that being said, I'd like to wish you all a very Merry Christmas. And I will talk to you later. Bye-bye.